With the advancement of disruptive technologies, the business of banking is changing. The customer behavior and expectations have also caused the business and the operational models to change. Therefore, we have witnessed the rise of neobanks. It is still in its early days in India, but it could be the new normal going forward. My name is Ashish, and today we are discussing the prospect of neobanks in India. So what are neobanks? Neobanks are 100% online banks having no physical presence at all. Neobanks offer low-cost models and customer-centric service and experience. Unlike the traditional banks, neobanks are not restrained by the legacy systems, complex administrative structures, and high regulatory requirements. These banks provide digital and mobile-first financial solutions, payments, as well as money transfers, money lending, etc. Neobanks have provided the underbanked or unbanked customer access to financial services and products that were scarcely available or which required paying huge fees and stringent regulations. Some may perceive digital bank and neobank to be the same, as they appear to be based on the mobile-first approach and its emphasis on digital model of operation. However, they are not the same. The terms may be used mutually, but digital banks are usually an online-only subsidiary of an established and regulated player in the banking sector, whereas a neobank exists online only without having any physical branch and operate either independently or in partnership with traditional banks. Thus, they fit into the regulatory requirements. Moving on to the operating model of neobanks. Neobanks may adopt various operating models for its functioning, but there are three major operating models. First is where non-licensed fintech firms collaborate with traditional banks to have a mobile or web platform and wrapper around their partner bank's product. Second is where the traditional banks undertake digital initiative. And finally, license neobanks with digital banking licenses in countries that allow it. According to Indian regulatory regime, virtual banking licenses are not provided. RBI has mandated the need for digital banking service providers to have physical presence. Therefore, neobanks in India can provide banking services only through outsourcing their banking responsibilities to banking institutions having license or NBFCs. Neobanks are addressing the regulatory plight in India by outsourcing their banking responsibilities to those having licenses by creating strategic partnerships with traditional banks and advancing amplified services through the existing ones. In order to tackle the regulatory predicaments, neobanks partner with traditional banks and provide business services and banking services to the consumers. The neobank offers financial and banking services to the end customer, but as far as regulatory perspective is concerned, the monetary transactions are managed by the traditional banks or by the partner banks. Neobanks have reportedly played a massive role in catering to the underserved MSME sector in India. Neobanks have targeted MSME by providing them banking services which is otherwise not provided by the traditional banks. An example of this is the disbursal of credit, which has been simplified by the neobanks. Apart from this, neobanks draw customers by the fact that they offer value-added services over and above the traditional banking institutions. Some of the popular facilities provided by neobanks in India are facilitating opening and operating savings and current account with a licensed bank, access to various loan offers or applying for loans, facility of payment gateway, personal finance or expense management, value-added services such as accounting, GST compliance, payroll management, etc. The strict banking regulations in India mean that neobanks can't offer banking and financial services autonomously. They require partnering with an entity having banking license and then can offer services in partnership with such banks. However, in order to thrive, neobanks in India need to win the trust of the customers, as trust is essential for innovations such as neobanks. I hope you enjoyed this video. In case you have any query, you can comment below. Thank you so much for watching.